We are here with someone who's very cool and very much needed on this set, especially with this cast. You can see in our shows like VH1, Basketball Wives giving relationship advice because she is a true food relationship expert. This is Spicy Mari in the house.
Hey.
All right, this is how we do it. Go 1, 2, 3. Wow.
I got it.
No, you got it. You got it on a little delay, but you know what? Because you needed to have your own time.
My timing thing. It's in God's time. God's time.
Speaking about timing, you know, I've seen you over the years develop this brand as a relationship expert. And I've seen you grow, and you have amazing advice on dating, relationships.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about that progression and also how it parallels your own life, your own personal life.
Oh, wow. So that's loaded. I actually do relationship coaching and matchmaking. And I've been doing it since I was little. I set my mom up. She got 3 husbands, okay?
Well, I was at your party last week.
Whoa!
I want to get one at least.
I was at your party last week. Yeah, she was throwing her
I'm
mom
trying
out
to
there
get
for
her a fourth.
Okay,
I'm trying to get my mom a 4th husband. So if you guys got an uncle or dad, let me know.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
I'm single, so.
I do.
But clearly there was something that my mother was doing that, you know, she needed to work on. And so she made sure that I was extremely educated when it came to relationships. And so I went on to get my BA and master's in communication because that was the #1 breakdown in relationships. And then I became a certified dating coach. And then started just preaching the gospel when it came to relationships and dating and trying to dispel all the myths that people think, oh, there's no men out there or there's no, you know, good women. That's not true. And so I decided I was going to start a relationship consulting firm after I was doing a radio show giving out relationship advice and spicy tips.
And there's probably a lot of psychology involved in there too,
yes.
huh? So are you like a good people reader?
Absolutely. So I studied in communications, human behavior.
Okay.
And then also media, which is great because there's a huge influx of us going online looking for love now. So we're doing the apps, you know, we're dating online, but we still have the same social skill set that you do in person. So it doesn't translate well, especially when there's less communication.
That brings up something, because I struggle with dating apps just in terms of creating a brand for myself on a digital platform.
Yep.
Yeah.
How do you feel about dating? Do you think that it can really lead to real, true love? Because
Absolutely.
And how would you suggest you kind of portray your? I know you don't know me, but is there? Because I feel like it's all fake. A lot of times, what I see on the app is not what I get in person.
That's happened to me a lot.
In a good or a bad way.
Right.
Sometimes it's worse online, and then I'm pleasantly surprised.
Right.
Yes.
So what advice do you have for dating apps?
So I am a huge proponent of using every form of technology that you can. Now that we have it, I mean, how are you guys paying your bills? You're not still walking into, you know, AT&T to pay your bill. You're paying online.
Right,
Why would we not use the tools that are available to us to help us create connections?
Yeah.
However, we need to be smart about it. So when it comes to these dating apps, that is your brand. What do you want the world to know about you? And yes, you can contrive it. It may not necessarily be, you know, exactly how you looked, you know, this year. Now, you know, you're going off of old photos, but you want to make it the best of your ability. The way that you would put the work into your LinkedIn profile, you want to put that into your dating profile.
Okay, so take it very seriously then.
Okay, now here's one thing that I noticed about, because I know several dating and relationship and sex experts. They all have one thing in common.
What's that?
They're not in relationships. So I want to throw it on you. This is a relationship expert that actually made it work.
Put a ring on it.
Tell me a little bit about your story. How did you take your own advice and actually make it happen in your personal life?
I learned from my mistakes and tried to really follow, and this is gonna sound corny, what my mother said, like, Mija, don't do this because your mama did that. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna take note. And then I trained myself and I coached myself. And then I did a lot of tests.
And then you help your mom get husbands.
And then I helped her get a husband.
But
she's on number 4.
She got a husband. That's the most important thing.
I got my own, but I did it through trial and error and learning and experiencing and learning from my mistakes. A lot of us get into bad relationships. We don't learn from our mistakes or do anything differently.
That's the problem.
We you know, fall into a pattern and go after what we're comfortable with as opposed to what's good for us. We got to learn to love what's good for us as opposed to what we want.
So how do you deal with your clients, the ones that are like super picky? Because I know there's selective, right? And then there's me. And then, so how do you deal with that? Because especially when it comes to matchmaking. Because I mean, I don't know you, but like I don't trust matchmakers sometimes because I'm like, I don't know that I would have the guts to go on a blind date because I don't know that people could actually read or understand what I like. Sometimes I don't even understand myself.
Exactly. So I feel like I'm like,
You nailed it.
how are you doing doing it for yourself so far. Like, exactly.
Well, no, I'm still single and no ring here, so that's how I'm doing it.
Not to say that,
I don't know
it's
how.
not to say that it's not coming though. It's definitely coming. But
Well, she turns down a lot of guys.
see, that's good. At least you're getting,
That's
you know,
true.
prospects. That's great.
Yeah.
But like one thing that I always recommend, which is a spicy tip, is make a list of your wants and then make a list of your needs and then why you're seeking those things. Because a lot of times we don't put that much thought and effort into why we want him to be 6'5". If that's unrealistic expectation, and is that something that you need?
But wait, you got a 6'5" guy?
He's 6'2". But I'm a professional at this. I know how to scout.
okay.
I'm
She's
like-
a pro.
I don't care so much about height.
I'm like
'cause
you, I'm
little.
taking a million resumes, and then I'm like, nope, doesn't meet the qualifications. Like,
Sometimes
I really
do
it.
that. Like when I'm dating, it's like, well, to me, it's more like a casting, and I know it's horrible to say,
It
but
is.
it's like I take it with this philosophy because otherwise I just wouldn't date at all. So
Yep.
it's like, okay, who gets the call back, and then they're on a rail, and then they do a good job of it. But you know, it's like that hard.
Are you a good date?
I think I don't know if I'm good or bad. I'm just the way I am right
I think
now.
she's great.
on a date.
She's a great date.
Knowing from what I know of Vivian, I imagine she's a fantastic date.
Well,
Okay,
she's
that's
actually
awesome.
gone on a date. You've gone on a date with a friend of mine or two, so I've heard from them. She's actually really fun.
Glowing reviews.
Always glowing reviews. My friends don't get glowing reviews from her, but you get glowing reviews from them.
We
Yeah, I
should
really
have
hope
a
they're
Yelp
not
review.
saying so much, Humberto. Que stress.
No
You just gave me
mames.
a great app idea, though. We should totally have a dating app where you get to write reviews on the person, like Yelp. And then that way, like, let me read this person's
that
review.
is
Do I want to take him out?
frightening.
Like, oh, for real? He walked
No.
out
And then the
the
review should be anonymous.
Yes, it has to be
No.
anonymous.
They have to.
No,
You have to
anonymous.
say, you want to make a review, good or bad, you gotta say who it is. Because
Anonymous-
what if it's a
That's
person?
true.
What if it's a
Anonymous
person
will
that
create
doesn't
too
go on a
many
What if
date?
it's a
problems.
crazy ex? Yeah, that's
too many
true. That's
problems.
But
true.
like Airbnb, you don't get to see your review until you read the review for the other person.
Oh, is that
you
what?
know? So
You
that
guys
way, you can really lie.
Wait, we're gonna do
Did we
Just create an app. Hold on. We need a developer.
Is Apple watching right
We
now?
have copyright, people.
Okay, well, we're about to go to commercial, but really quick before we do, why spicy, Mari?
See.
What most people think is that spicy is all about like me being caliente, and although I am like a hot mama, it really stands for self, passion, intimacy, communication, and learning to say yes to your partner.
Whoa.
Yes.
Wow. What's the S again?
Yes, learning to say yes.
I thought it was
No,
because
the
you were
S-
just so
No,
spicy.
the S is self. So
Self.
So self-awareness, passion, intimacy, communication, and learning to say yes. And those
Love
are the
it.
key elements that I did in all my research of what you need for a healthy relationship.
Vivian, S stands for?
Self-esteem.
P.
No,
That's
close.
self-awareness.
Good job.
Passion.
I.
Intimacy.
C.
Communication.
Communication.
And Y.
learn to say yes.
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 Whoa!
Good job. She has a great
Wow, she has a great memory, this little
phenomenal.
Mexican from
I'm
Puebla.
learning the tips here.
I'm really
'cause
proud of you.
Spicy
Thank
tips.
you.
Spicy tips.
That's
I want
exactly
to take
spicy
the
tip.
spicy method, and I want you to tell us about
Yes.
it later.
Yes.
And then, I think we're gonna have to bring her back after you take the spicy method, and we'll talk about how you did.
Hey, the
Yeah.
evolution.
We'll be at her
Evolution.
wedding.
All right, so
Obviously.
because you're a very informed and opinionated woman, we're gonna have you play a little game that we like to call Follow Unfollow. All right, so this is a game where I'm gonna give you two people.
Okay.
You gotta follow one and unfollow the other on social media
Okay.
based on what I'm gonna tell you. First up, Cardi B versus Nicki Minaj. Now, you know what happened during New York Fashion Week, right? Cardi B and Nicki Minaj got into a huge public fight, and then
Yes.
something happened later on where somebody threw a shoe at somebody.
Yeah.
Who are you siding with on this one? Who are you following? Who are you unfollowing?
Dang.
I know
Okay.
you love them both.
I know I love them both. This is so hard, but I'm gonna have to unfollow Cardi.
Why?
Because I feel like she's setting an example for how her daughter should behave, and it's
Okay.
not appropriate. She could have handled it a completely different way, and she didn't. And so I think it was very messy and unprofessional, and she should be held to a higher regard now. And I love her, Cardi. I love you, Dominicana all day. Like, you're fabulous. But it's just I'm unfollowing if I have to. Like, if I have to choose.
Look at you with the high standards, Miss Mama. I like that.
Spicy.
Bruno, I know you got an opinion on this. Who are you following? Who are you unfollowing?
I unfortunately disagree, although I'm very close. I just feel like there's not enough realness in the world right now. A lot of
no.
fake stuff happening, and although I don't agree with Cardi throwing the shoe, I think it was real. It was like really how she felt, and I'm gonna do this because I feel this way and I feel passionately. There's not enough passion, there's not enough realness. So I feel like Cardi tackles both of those.
Bruno, I'm gonna throw my shoe at you because I'm just kidding.
Just because you want to.
Vivian, you're not. This is really not your scene. But who do you?
I mean, I have no idea. I don't know. I wouldn't have thrown the shoe, but then at the same time, if somebody's provoking me enough, I don't know
You
how I
throw
would
the shoe.
react.
I would see you throw the shoe.
And look,
I
that shoe would hurt too.
This shoe would hurt
That's a
someone.
powerful
But was
shoe.
she
Don't
being
make me
provoked?
mad, people.
Was she really being provoked
That's
though?
true.
Come on now.
That's
Guys,
true.
you know what I think it is, honestly? Being a kid that grew up in the 90s, I think this is a female rapper version of the beef they did between Biggie and Tupac.
yeah.
Because even did Nicki Minaj say that she was gonna like not be alive or something if she kept doing that? Like they're trying to make this like
there was a
hip-hop war.
veiled threat.
But this is, I mean, we're falling for it though, because I definitely
Yeah.
watched the video like 20 times trying to like
Two
watch it.
friends and doing this. All right, second group. Noah Cyrus versus Lil Zang. Do you know about this?
Yes.
Okay, so after dating for a few weeks and being spotted making out on red carpets, Lil Zang and Noah Cyrus had a very public breakup on social media. Who you following, who you unfollowing, and why?
I'm gonna have to unfollow Noah,
Okay.
and it's only because I already follow Zang.
Okay, that's good. Bruno, you know about these people?
Yeah, of course. I think I'll follow Lil Xan too, unfollow Noah. Just because Lil Xan, I like his whole vibe. Like, he's very emotional and he like cries a lot on Instagram and he like gets really upset about things and like I do too. So I like him.
Vivian, I know again this is not your scene, but let's just say Lil Zang.
Okay.
All right, Bruno, we have another, because you're so spicy and you're so
yes.
naughty, we have another segment we want to do with you. Let's bring it up, Bruno.
The spiciest segment of all. We got a live Friendzone, ladies and gentlemen. Come on. Now, usually I do this one-on-one, but I decided the whole cast of animals should be
Let's
involved
do
in
it.
this because Spicy Mari is the spiciest of all the animals, and we need to figure out some love. So first of all, friendzoning is tough. It happens to all of us.
It does.
What would you say if I were to like a girl, what would be the best way to let it be known that I'm not looking for a friend zone? I'm looking for the real thing. Is there something I could do either with my body language or my voice, or just automatically right off the bat to let them know?
If you're trying to avoid being friend zoned, I would definitely be honest with her, letting her know, look, I know that this has to start as friendship, but I would love for it to blossom into a relationship. Like, if you're open to it, I'm open to it. If you're open to exploring every 5 senses, girl, I'm gonna take you there. But are you adventurous? Are you adventurous enough for that?
5 senses, I like
Challenge
that.
her.
Yeah,
Ask her if she's adventurous enough. Ask her if she's ready for the challenge, because that turns us on. Like, and what are we gonna say? No, I'm not adventurous. We're gonna say yes, and now we're like engaged and interested for this adventure.
Yeah.
That right there is
down
the
with
best. That's like the best advice I've gotten on the whole friend zone. Adventure. That's true. Because I'm
what
an
we want.
adventure.
Especially like what she's saying about picarles la cresta. Like, are you adventurous to
Yeah.
like go on this ride my wave?
Yeah, this journey.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, look, I got a question of what I'm going through right now. So
Yeah.
about a year and a half ago, I had a long-term relationship end. I was
Okay.
engaged, so it was very serious, and I spent about a year getting over it. Now I'm starting to date a lot. But while I want to explore and kind of get out there and hook up, you know, but I want to find the one, but I don't want to waste time. So I'm going on dates, and if I know they're not the one, I'm kind of cutting it off before,
Yeah.
because it's like I only have one big breakup left in me. Is there a proper way for a man to friend zone a woman when he realizes this is not the one, and you know, time to take in, my biological clock is ticking like this?
Oh my God, his biological clock.
You're not,
Where am
you're
I?
not having a child with me. You're gonna be fine.
Right. Leave that to me. I'm the girl here. I'm the one with the pressure. You people.
All right,
No,
give
you're
me
gonna be
my
fine
tip
too,
and tell her
man.
about
I don't
hers.
have any pressure. I will
Let
adopt.
them
you're
know
gonna
that they're
be fine.
amazing. Let them know, unfortunately, they're overqualified for the role for
that's
you.
a good way to
like,
put it.
you're
Wow.
complimenting them, you're
Yes.
stroking their ego, so that way if you change your mind, you can always go back to them and revisit it. You never want to cut them off completely.
Right.
Because of the first time you meet them, you're not going to know. It doesn't
Right.
work like that.
But after a couple of dates, though,
A couple dates,
I
you
got a
will.
woman's intuition in
Leave
this
the
man's
candle
body.
lit.
a couple dates, you will. You have to have standards. If you know for sure it's a disaster, let it go. Don't waste your time.
And sometimes I chase
But
the
let
sex
them
and
know.
realize I don't want the
Oh, no.
relationship. You know,
See?
I gotta stop doing that. I gotta stop doing that.
Exactly.
Both of us do that, I
Yeah.
think.
Vivian, let's go with you for the final
Come
tip
on.
here.
What do you mean final
Ask
take?
her a question. What are you
the
gonna
friend
friend
I
zone.
did. I know the friend zone. So in my case, it's the opposite. Sometimes I get really overwhelmed when I see that a guy wants me in another sense, and I really want them as friends. And it's like, it's either you date them or you don't have them as friends.
Yeah.
So how can you friend zone them
Oh my gosh. this is
without
the
being
best.
a total
this is the best advice you can ever take. Let them know that they're amazing and you have a friend for them. Like, oh my God, you're phenomenal, but I think you might be more compatible with Teresa. And so now you're just like sliding them over to, the right.
This is like my
You're,
nightmares.
you're passing them along to the next person who can appreciate them, only because they're so phenomenal. Definitely boost their ego at the same time by letting them
they are great
down.
people, but sometimes I'm like him. Like, I just know right off the bat if it's going to be a potential lover or not.
Right.
Pass them to the next. Don't be selfish.
Good.
Spicy Maddie, hey, we need to have her back.
Spicy is red hot.
Thank you.
How can-
Red hot.